Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play from your lovely Queen Fallenwolf with a special guest who's gonna...
It's me. You thought that I could be contained to that other Let's Play, but I'm here too, because I guess I can't stay away from my own game.
So,
And
yeah,
anyway, Sedge here, creator of No More Future, in case somebody doesn't know. But you probably do.
Well, I'm sure they'll know because I always like to make sure I properly credit everyone. I definitely, people who are watching this video now can obviously just go in the description and, have all of your fun info there. Hopefully you don't get any weird people because that never happens in the furry fandom, right?
Yeah, never.
So anyway, guys, yes, this is a Let's Play, another furry visual novel. I know, I'm surprising you guys. A brand new furry visual novel called No More Future. And
brand new is a bit of a not exactly. It's been out since April, but it's up and coming. Let's call it like that.
Now, people watch this video do not know that. Well, it's new for me. It's new for me. I just found out about. I actually very quickly, and then we'll get right into things. I recently found out about this about a month or two ago from a lovely YouTube channel called Drake Wing Gaming, and I was watching through some of his videos, and one of them was No More Future, and I just randomly decided to watch it, and I loved it. And then I found out that hey, Sedge, the creator of No More Future, was actually in one of the servers I'm in. So then we started talking, and now we have my, I think it's like only my second collab stream of
Wow.
furry visual.
You ought to do more. Yeah.
I do want to do more, and I definitely, and don't worry, I'm sure for people wondering, I probably will do a lot more of these videos. I like, you guys know I like doing a lot of different furry visual novels and promoting people's work. But anyway, with that being all said, we're getting started, and how this is going to go is not only do I have a lovely guest of honor, Sedge is also going to be doing the voice of the main character. So unlike usual, he's going to be doing the voice of the main characters, and I'm going to do the side characters.
Mm-hmm. And remember, this story is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to animal people, real or imagined, is entirely coincidental. So if you claim that I stole your persona, fuck you. I'm kidding.
Oh, that's it. But yeah.
This story contains content that is not suitable to children of all ages, or appropriate for those suffering from depression or suicidal thoughts.
Oh, so that's probably like half of my fan base.
True. Half the furry fandom in general.
Oh no, I don't know if we can.
Viewer discretion is advised. Also, please don't cancel me.
But yeah, so this is going to be, like I said, this is going to be a little different, but I think this will be fun for everyone watching this. A little different.
Yeah. A dimly lit hospital room, in the midst of the fanciest hospital your family could afford. Simple bedroom, surrounded by grey walls and dusty curtains on all sides. Beyond the artificial barriers lie identical cubicles all around you. They're a bit livelier than yours. About as lively as they can be in a place like this, anyway. There is no TV to watch as you wait, no games to play, no books to read, and no one to talk to. Not even your family is allowed in at this hour of the day. You can only listen to the other patients as they lament their woes to their loved ones, sobbing and crying while holding each other tight. You haven't paid attention to any of them for quite a while. It only makes you feel worse. You're sprawled in your bed, hidden within the discomfort of your sheets, tired and silent. Your eyes are red from all the tears, and the streaks they've left in their wake are still visible hours apart. The inside of your mouth is as dry as the voice of the nurses and doctors that seldom come visit you. You're a shipwreck, drifting off in a misty night, waiting for the waves to finally swallow you whole, however long it may take. You already know that all these treatments are meaningless, that there is no saving you from yourself. Your family trusts in the doctors that they're wasting their finances on, praying to whatever god is out there that he may listen to their plight. But you, who lays in his bed, who endures the painful treatments, who deals with the nightmares thrown over their brain every day and every night. You all grew hope long ago. So you lay there, alone and afraid, your body frozen if it encased in ice, mind stuck in a loop. Over and over, you repeat to yourself the brutal truth you cannot run away from. You are going to die.
Ooh.
God, I practically know this like from memory at this point.
Has it been that how so? Is it like you're just like it's like you've worked on it so much that you know?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like I at this point I know it by memory. Like it's insane.
Oh wow, that's showing you that's a
Nah,
lot.
no.
If you're working on that much, then you really are very serious. So I'm gonna ask a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, just from this little short opening, um, you can tell that this game is very dramatic and has some very serious topics. I'm sure are going to come into place, moving forward. Was
Yeah.
this what what caused you to write something like this? Was it personal
Yeah.
beliefs? Okay.
So, this is a story that I've told a lot of people, and I might as well put it out there as well here. Um, so back in 2019, I had a very bad like depression streak, starting from late July, early August, all the way up till the end of September. I started thinking about death and about the feeling that there might not be anything after I die. Like I was born and raised Christian. I don't consider myself Christian myself, although I share many of my personal beliefs of the religion. So I am mostly confident that there is something after this life. But the idea that that could be wrong and that there could be nothing was just so boring. I don't not even boring. Just it felt like it felt awful. Like I couldn't sleep at night. It kept me up. I had panic attacks. Like my heart started beating very fast as I pondered on this stuff. I had to go to a counselor, like to a therapist for this, and it wasn't fun. But one of the good things to come out of that was that it gave me a lot of cool ideas for stories, including what will later become No More Future. So, in this sense, this story is very personal to me, and it truly represents me and my mental state at that time, especially the prologue, more so than possibly anything else that I came up with over my life. Like, don't get me wrong, every story, every character that I come up with has a part of me in there. But I feel like the message that I'm trying to share of this story is not just something that relates to me personally, it's something that relates to everybody. And that's about all I can say without spoiling the plot any further. So,
And I like, well, I don't, let me rephrase, let me rephrase that. I don't like hearing what you dealt with, but I like hearing that you turned that experience somewhat into something positive. I don't know even how to, if I would say necessarily positive, but turned it into something that you were able to use as a basis for, your fictional work. Because I think, first of all, I'm really glad that in all seriousness, I'm really glad that you're still here. I haven't got to talk to
yeah,
you
don't
for
worry.
that.
I ain't killing myself.
Yeah.
Like if that's if I learned something from that whole thing is I am never killing myself. Fuck that.
But yeah, like I just was curious because like I'm gonna be honest, like you're reading it. The little bit of this that you read, it felt very personal, and that's why I was curious. I'm not saying that it's impossible. Like I've seen writers before who write stuff and you're like, oh, this must be from like world experience, and like, oh no, I just got like no, and but like it's very rare, very very rare, unless you're like a master, and I'm not saying you aren't a master writer, to write something that you've never dealt with so vividly. And that's why I was just curious if was your thoughts and stuff going through the protagonist's head right now were something you related to. So it's
I
gonna
feel
be
like
really
that's
interesting.
something that everybody relates to at some point in their life. Like to a certain degree, everybody thinks about these questions and worries about this stuff. Surely not everybody can relate to, being on your deathbed at a hospital and stuff.
Right.
But it's something that eventually a lot of people are going to have to deal with. So in this sense, I feel like this can provide an interesting, an interesting experiment, let's say, like an interesting experience for these people who are struggling with these feelings right now.
And I absolutely agree. I think, like you said, everybody at some point in their life is going to have to. It's a foregone conclusion that everyone at some point everyone deals with thoughts of death and dying, and because everyone's gonna eventually die. Everyone's gonna die eventually, and
Not me. Fuck you. Wrong.
okay. Well, I'm sorry. Sedge is immortal. He is a
Mm-hmm.
proto. I don't know if protogen or whatever you are. So you're
Let's look.
whatever
I'm
you
I'm a cat. I've got 9 lives,
are. Okay, so a
and I
cat.
ain't giving any of them away.
So, but yeah, that's really interesting. I'm gonna keep going now, but like I just was curious because like it really seemed like this was like it really hit me a little bit. Like listen to you read this, I'm like, oh, I'm like that's really deep. Like I've dealt with but I can say this much: I have dealt with feelings like these. Um, I do have a lot of depression, and I have dealt with suicidal ideations at points in my past, so I can relate to this somewhat. So,
Let's
but
hope not too much.
no, hopefully not too much. I would hope. I would hope not.
All right, let's move on
Yeah.
before
Well, as I said,
before
let's
people
move on
start
before
thinking
I
this is
know.
all about
I
depressing shit.
oh, okay. Who are you? Oh, that's right. And I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing the side character. So, good evening there. How are you doing today?
A woman suddenly appears right before you, almost giving you a heart attack as the sheer volume of her voice strikes you like thunder in a storm. Well, not in this case, but
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be louder.
it's not an unexpected arrival that jolts you from dark thoughts, of course. You've gotten used to people coming and going all the time that's forsaken place. Everything fell into a mountain routine after months of lodging here. No. What startles you is her voice, so much different from the nurses and doctors. So upbeat, so nonchalant, with a glimmer of something more barely hidden beneath the surface. Hardly appropriate, given the circumstances.
Hello, you there? Come on, I know you aren't dead yet.
The lady laughs off your reluctance to engage her in conversation with a cheerful smile.
I know I'm asking for a lot here, but you can still grace me with a chat, can't you?
Who are you again? After many days of relentless crying, your voice sounds raspy and coarse, almost as if you were coughing. The woman smiles upon hearing you speak, seemingly delighted for whatever reason.
Ah, that's much better. Good to know I wasn't too late to the party. It's kind of hard to converse with a corpse.
She chuckles at her own joke for a brief moment while you lay in your bed dumbfounded. You're not exactly in the mood for morbid humor like that, so you have to stay silent and pay no mind. You decide to take a deeper look at a strange woman, which you haven't taken of a glance since the moment you first saw her. She is wearing a lab coat of some sort, but like her attitude, it's markedly different from those worn by local doctors. You struggle to unravel her spaces. She most closely resembles a Siamese cat, with beige fur over her hands and neck, but something about her features leaves you wondering. You can't see her tail either, thanks to her coat. You wonder whether she even has one underneath that outfit. After some time spent calmly observing you, the curious lady addresses you once again.
I guess I still haven't introduced myself yet, huh? No wonder you've been so reluctant to talk to me.
The woman extends her right hand towards you, though she likely doesn't expect you to shake it.
I'm Dr. Shelley, but you can call me Mary. I'm the head of the synthetic department over at Pandora Laboratories. Got a bunch more titles under my belt, but let's leave it at that for now. Needless to say, I'm not associated with this Institute or its staff in any way. I'm here as a visitor, and you're free to call security on me if I start overstepping my boundaries in any way. But I think you should hold that thought for now. We've only just started getting to know each other after all.
You have a mind to have her thrown out right now, truth be told. You have no clue what this Mary even is, aside from what little she's told you, and you're clearly in no mood to entertain whatever nonsense she's spouting. However, as you're about to raise your voice, something that you previously mentioned begins prodding at the back of your mind, demanding your immediate attention. Pandora Laboratories, synthetics. Something with these words rubs you the wrong way. Though you seem to recall hearing them before, you cannot picture their meaning in your head. You have a feeling the latter was especially important, but
So sorry for asking this, but I just realized I didn't have a chance to look up your name before I got here. The nurses downstairs gave me your room, condition, and all that, but they never did bother to mention you by anything other than your number. And here I thought we were the ones working with robots.
leaves me lying, which does somehow succeed drawing a faint smile on your face. Almost makes you forget that you just admitted to illegally obtaining your sensitive data. You realize you really should have called security this nudge a while ago for your reason. But you're not going to. Not just yet. You figure you should give this cat lady a piece of your mind first. Do the doctors around here give them patients info to strangers all the time, or are you a special case? Though there was no irony in your voice, the doctor laughs at your query nonetheless.
At least your sense of humor is alive and kicking, and I might have made it just in time after all. But to answer your question, let's just say I have my ways. Don't worry, I'm not going to use your private data to sell your kitchen knives or low-calorie smoothies. Unlike the workers here, I have standards.
Assuring.
Oh, don't act like I'm out here trying to stab you with a needle or something. Like I already said, that's the job of the people downstairs. All I want is to have a nice conversation with someone who, for one reason or another, managed to pique my interest. Surely you can understand this.
I pique your interest. The woman hesitates to explain herself directly.
How about you tell me your name first, and we'll go from there. Unless you'd rather I leave you alone, of course.
You briefly wonder whether it's wise to share your name with a stranger you barely know. The story reveals so little of herself to you. It's probably a terrible idea, Louisa. Everything about this conversation sounds extremely sketchy. You don't know who she is or what she's after. Nor is it clear what exactly you stand to gain from this surreal exchange. After some deliberation, however, you decide that privacy isn't really a thing you care about all that much anymore. Besides, it's not like you could lose much more than what you already have. Fine, I'll tell you. My name is Isaac. It feels weird, revealing your name so carelessly to a stranger. It's almost like giving away a part of your soul, in a way. It's probably just you being dramatic as usual, all things considered.
Isaac. I see. So that's the name your parents chose for you, I take it?
Sorry? The cat's question takes you completely by surprise. Though you would like to ask for an explanation of some sort, the cat swiftly beats you to the punch.
You ever notice how little of ourselves was chosen by us in this world? Our names, our genders, our sexualities, our bodies? Even our personalities are mostly dictated by the way we were raised and by whom. All things we never got a say in. We're born with them, molded by them, and we're stuck with them until the day we...
She can finish, almost as if perceiving how unsettling her son's rejection had become. She forcefully stops herself.
Sorry, didn't mean to go there. Sometimes I can't control myself when I start rambling like that. What I meant to ask was... if you could start your life anew, and this time you could choose everything about yourself, including your name, would you keep it the same, or would you change it?
You try to process what you've just heard in vain. The words bounce off your head as if she were talking a foreign language. You understand what she's saying, but not what she means. What sort of question is that?
The interesting sort, wouldn't you agree?
More like they're ridiculous.
Oh, come on, don't sound so glum. Humor me for a minute, and I promise it'll all be worth it.
The woman's strange questions cause some stir in your mind. You cannot fathom a guess as to where this bizarre line of questioning could possibly lead. Even so, you can't help yourself from indulging it further, unwilling to return to the dread and emptiness that preceded it.
I almost forgot. Sorry, everyone. I'm breaking character for a minute. I just want to save just in case. I always get worried when I'm playing visual novels. Okay, so we're good now. Just want to save. So what would it be? So I did ask Sedge before this started what canonically was the choice. So we're gonna stick with the canonical choice, which is Isaac. So for this playthrough,
No, it's not like it's not exactly a canonical choice. Like, Isaac used to be the canonical name back when you could choose both the first name that you gave the character and then at this option whether you would stick with the name that you chose or you would pick a second one. But ever since we rewrote pretty much everything and turned the novel almost fully linear, keeping only a few choices in the game, that's this one and then another one later on, Isaac has become the canon name. And the choice to either stick with the name or choose a new name, that one's not canonical. You can choose whatever you want. It changes some dialogues later down the line, some character introductions, but the novel is entirely linear, and it doesn't really matter either way. It's just flavor text, basically.
Okay, I didn't. Okay, so this is a linear one. So this is this similar to? I hate bringing it up because I brought it up before. But let's just use the example. Adastra, I think, had very few choices. Something, so it's linear, like you said, right? So it's mostly linear.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with Adastra, I'm probably gonna say something that's gonna make me a lot of enemies, but I didn't like the way that when it comes to like the linear versus choice driven storytelling in FVNs, I believe that you either go all the way or you don't. Like either you have choice in your game and there's a wide variety of them that change the story enough to warrant them in the first place, or you don't have any in the first place. With Adastra, I feel like there's just so few choices in the game. It might as well be entirely linear, aside from like the choices that really matter, But there's just there's like 4 choices in the game. Half of them are about what position you get in bed with the big wolf guy you fall in love with. So I don't know. It feels like a bit of a waste in my opinion with those choices. And I was thinking the same way about NMF because it used to be like the story was always intended to be linear in nature, with the story basically being the same no matter what choices you got, but you'd be able to like choose how you interacted with certain characters. And depending on the character that you had the biggest affinity with, you get like a special custom ending after the main credits, basically, with you and that character. That wasn't supposed to be romantic or anything of the sort. Just like a special cutscene detailing like your future alongside that character, as friends or frenemies, whatever, But I realized that the amount of, like, for example, there was choices where you either trusted or didn't trust a certain character. You said things that might have upset them or didn't. And I realized that the implications of some of these choices, even on a micro level, would have created ramifications later down the line that required entirely different scenes compared to the ones, like, for example, if a character didn't trust you enough because you treated them like shit, why would they trust you with confidential information or stuff that would develop your relationship with them later on, Like, it didn't make sense. It led to a situation where I felt like I was going to have to do more work for stuff that didn't, I could just not include, So I decided to go, you know what, fuck it. Let's go full linear, no more choices, and just create the story that I want to create,
And I actually think I have no issue with that. I think that's good. I think I think that's really good, especially if you already have an idea of exactly where you want your visual novel to go. I think it probably is a better idea to be linear. not saying that choice.
Yeah, I know where my visual novel is going. Yeah, you know.
Well, I mean,
I'm
I
kidding.
would
I do.
hope. Yeah. I mean, compared to like a work where it's like, okay, you have a basic conceptual idea of where you want to go, and then as you're working on it, you get more and more ideas. Then maybe the choice would be better. But since, like you said, you know pretty much where your visual novel is going. XYZ character, what's gonna happen with them. I think it probably is a better idea to have it linear. And there's nothing, and just to say this real quick, everyone, there's nothing wrong with a linear visual novel. I have no issues with a linear visual novel. At the end of the day, the thing that's gonna keep me going is the story and how much can I relate to these characters and their struggles. If I can't, a visual novel can have 100 different endings, but if the path to get there sucks on all of them, I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna want to play the whole visual novel. I'm not gonna want to play.
Hella true. Hella true.
So, but I'm not gonna
that's the point. As a writer, you can have the best ideas. You can have the wackiest shit planned for the future, like I do. Like, people have no idea what the fuck I'm gonna do with this story. Holy fuck. But the problem is that if the reader loses interest at the beginning, they're never gonna get to see all that stuff. Like, if people just can't endure the path to the big payoffs, it doesn't matter how amazing they are. You failed.
Exactly.
You know?
And yeah, but like I said, I'm not gonna derail this too much because I know everybody's probably very interested in this. Hopefully interested in this.
Let's get back to this.
But yeah, we'll get back. So for this playthrough, like I said, I'm just gonna stick with the given name since now you've told me it's very heavily linear, just for the sake of.
And people can choose if I want to be known as for their own playthroughs.
Like, people know I'm not going to be making every single choice. I'm just going to play once and I'm going to go with how I feel it should go. And if you want to play it, obviously give money to Sedge. The cat has 9 lives. He's going for a 10th one, so he needs money.
No, sure. Money. Mostly comments. Drop comments.
Yes.
Tell me what your favorite animal is, so that I can beat the shit out of them.
Oh no. Okay, so we're gonna go with. I'd stick with my given name. You would, huh? I suppose that after living so long with your name, it has become just as big a part of your identity as your actual personality. Or maybe it holds a deeper meaning to you. Some fond memories associated with it. No need to tell me, by the way. Your gaze says all I need to know. Either way, names are hardly the most important part of an individual. They're just there so we don't have to waste time sorting through countless faces and voices in our heads. I'm just glad I know what to call you when I report back to the labs.
Okay, time out. Are you gonna tell me what's the point of this whole conversation, or are you just gonna keep asking me weird questions like it's all standard procedure?
Of course there's a point, and I was getting to it. Eventually.
Eventually is much longer time frame for your taste, especially when you still don't know what this talk is about in the first place. It's still a little difficult to speak up, but you try to articulate your confusion as best as you can regardless. I really don't understand why you're doing this, why I'm going along with it for that matter. Usually when people come visit, they talk about their lives, the memories they've had together, sometimes about the awful weather outside. And now you come along and start asking me all this strange stuff and saying all sorts of nonsensical things. It's not like your conversation so far was particularly enjoyable. It was definitely out of the ordinary, for sure, but not necessarily awful. However, given how little time you have left, answering strangers' questions feels like an utterly pointless endeavor. And then again, isn't it true for all the conversations you've had on this bed? And I just can't see the point of doing all this. You hear the cat exhaling a deep sigh as she rests her back on the nearby wall, a fleeting expression on her face.
I understand. Really. I know there's a lot going through your mind right now, and that you're not prepared for this conversation. At the same time, however, I can't really afford to slow down with you. I know you'd rather we introduce ourselves better first, or for me to explain what I'm trying to achieve here in more detail. But I have some questions I need to ask first, and sadly I can't skip out on them. Time is of the essence. I've got places to be, people to talk to, and plenty of work to do. I don't have much time, and truth be told.
Takes another deep breath as she addresses you once again.
I'm not even supposed to be here right now.
Wait, what? You're not quite sure what to do with this information. But then...
Of course, while I have the luxury of being late if I want, you unfortunately lack even that. There's no telling how much time you have left in this world, so you need to consider what you do with it wisely. We can use it to have some regular chit-chat, of course, and then we can go our separate ways, having learned absolutely nothing. Or you could let me ask you a few more questions, even if they're a little off the rails, and maybe we'll both come out of this a little bit better off than we started. What's it gonna be?
A bit better off. As if there's anything she could do to make you feel any less miserable right now. But then again, it's not like you have a lot to lose from this. The alternative to this whole charade is the uncomfortable silence after all. Still, it's weird how she managed to answer all my questions so easily, even those I never even asked her. Either she's extremely perceptive and good at what she does, or she can somehow read my mind. Just to be safe, I don't have to think of anything appropriate when she's around. All jokes aside, having pondered it for long enough, you finally decide to answer the inquisitive Siamese. Fine. I guess I can answer a couple more questions if that's what it takes for you to start making some sense.
Wonderful! Trust me, you won't regret it.
You're still a weirdo, though.
Weird doesn't even scratch it, but let's not open that can of worms just yet. So, last question then, as promised.
The lady takes out a tablet from within her lab coat and makes as if to write something on it.
What pronouns do you use?
What pronouns? Are you kidding me? What does that even have to do with this?
Look, I know it's stupid, but no matter how this conversation goes, I'll need to file a report once I get back. Company regulations require me to list your preferred pronouns somewhere in there, something about avoiding potential lawsuits and things of the sort. If you ask me, it's just a load of bullshit meant to give the interns something to do, but what can you do? If you really don't want to answer, I can just write...
It's fine. You still have no idea what any of this is for, but if this is what it takes for the feeling to start talking... All things considered, it could have been far worse, for sure. If you really have to use them, I go by. And that's the only choice in the game, after the last one.
Oh, so this is completely linear. Okay. So obviously, we all know, all of you know what I go by, she and her, but because we are playing this as a canonical, or at least I call it canonical, Isaac, we are definitely going to go by he or him, because, I mean...
Them is also fine.
Nah,
like,
well, we'll go by he or him. I think it's just I mean, because, like, when is the last time that we've ever played a furry visual novel where you played a guy character? I mean, it's unheard of. I think it'll be something special to play as a guy character in a furry visual novel.
There's actually a few that allow you to play as girls. There's Under the Bridge, which is really neat. It allows you to choose a female character for your protagonist if you want. And I think there's a new one that, not a new one necessarily, but it got updated a while back called the Wheeler Institute that I think also lets you play as a girl. Not sure about that though.
I'll have to check that out. That's interesting because like every furry visual novel I've played, it's always like guy. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying like it's usually guy. But that'll be interesting. I'll have to check those two out.
I'll definitely recommend Under the Bridge. It's also a safe work visual novel. For the record, I don't know if we said this earlier, but No More Future is entirely safe for work. No romance, no sex, no horny.
And you know,
doesn't mean there aren't any simpable characters in this game. I know of a lot of people who, for example, are already simping a lot for this character right here. But that's not the point of the story, you know? Like I didn't go through all that shit 2 years ago. to make a story that's just another we fall in love with a huge wolf guy and we bottom the fuck out of them and then happy ending, you know?
Now, Sedge,
Maybe punch a homophobe in the face.
you know, saying those words that you probably just got canceled twice over. You just made me lose half of my viewer count, and they'll probably never touch your visual novel. But you speak truth, so we'll allow it.
True.
So anyway, him, we're going with.
But yeah, play Under the Bridge. It's also amazing.
I will definitely play it. I'm interested now.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely cool. Like it's made with Unity instead of REMP, and it's got like mini games in it. Background, like everything's custom made, just like with NMF, including all the backgrounds, which also include like scrolling backgrounds. And it's also planned to have like a mini map where you can like go and interact with people. It looks very promising, and even though it's not my genre because it's another dating sim and I don't like those, it definitely looks like a great project.
Said you don't like dating sims, so what visual novels are you playing then? Because that's basically 90% of visual novels, unfortunately.
Look, that's one of the reasons why I still like Adastra and a bunch of other visual novels that I'm not gonna name, because even though I have a lot of issues with the writing, they still do something when they're not busy trying to hook two people, the main character and another guy together.
And I agree.
I really like.
I agree.
Yeah. I love stories that try to push the boundaries of the medium, you know, not just another dating sim. Mm-hmm. Not like there's anything wrong with them. I'm just not the genre for me. I'm more for like high concept stuff.
That's fair. And I'll agree with that with Adastra. Adastra had a lot of interesting ideas. It just I've already explained this. I'm not going to explain this because I've already explained it in a few groups that I've talked to people about, and I've talked in my video. But I agree with you with that. I feel like Adastra did have some interesting ideas, and I'll leave it at that.
Not even a second later, an Siamese already finished typing that down on her tablet.
Alright, I'll be sure to remember that too.
I'll hold you to it. Are there any more surveys you want to take before you finally tell me what the role you're doing here? Usually people charge money to get their private info out like this, you know?
Fair enough. Don't worry, you'll be compensated for the time. You're lending me more than enough. Trust me. And yes, as a matter of fact, we're done with the boring part. Now let's get to the real meat of the discussion, shall we?
Oh, there's a point to all this? Now I'm starting to think you were asking me all these questions for shits and giggles.
Nah, that stuff was just regular office bureaucracy. You know, the bullshit that justifies the jobs of clerks all over the world. No, how about I ask you a real question?
The woman leans over the railing of the bed, a sly smile on her lips. You can't help but feel slightly uncomfortable at your son's nearness for some reason.
Have you ever heard of synthetics?
Well, that's really not what you expected her to ask. Not that excited over the little face anyway. Regardless, even now, you have no idea just what in the world she's talking about. She mentioned those synthetics again. Don't you feel as though you should remember? You try to scrounge up a little info you have on them off the top of your head, wondering why the feline seems so interested in them. I think I heard about them once. Maybe on the video news or somewhere on the web. Can't say I know the topic all that well, though. Seeing as though you seem ill-informed on the topic, the cat steps in to answer your doubts.
It's our latest science project over at the labs, and one I directly oversee. We've been disclosing more and more info on it recently, but it's no wonder someone who was stuck in a hospital for half a year like you doesn't know about it. To put it simply, synthetics are bionic constructs made of both organic parts, artificially made of course, and mechanical ones. They're humanoid androids built to resemble and operate as if they were a real human. Is that... I have to ask real quick, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Well, not cutting you off, but... Human, was that meant to be spelled like that, or...
I mean, the fact that it's there twice is probably a good indicator that this was not an act.
Okay,
So basically, yeah, there's a reason why there's that term. Obviously, we can't use human because otherwise it'd be very weird. Uh, this is basically the close equivalent, and it makes sense in the story. We'll see why eventually. But
Okay.
for now, just know that the race of the furries, including Mary here and ourselves, is human.
Human. Okay. Human. Okay. That's interesting.
Just pronounce his name, just
Yeah.
more or
Can.
less.
And how much further should we go? Well, you'll decide when we stop.
Yeah, don't worry.
You'll decide when we stop.
So basically, they're just artificial bodies for AIs of extra steps. And that doesn't sound all that impressive. The technology's been out for a few decades at least.
It has, hasn't it? I would know. We were the ones who first came up with it, after all.
They were. Now you remember. Pandora Laboratories, a subsidiary of Pandora Corporation, specialized in high-tech R&D in fields of robotic and software engineering. The vast majority of the most groundbreaking inventions of the last century were credited exclusively to them. You recall learning that in the midst of researching a topic for a high school project. Who could have guessed that those seemingly trivial pieces of information you gathered back then would have become useful right now? As you ponder on that, you hear the feline nonchalantly continue her explanation.
The technology's nothing new, you're right about that. As far as AIs are concerned, at least. Sure, we've been able to house artificial minds within artificial bodies for decades. But what about real minds?
Wait, real what now? There's no way you heard that right, you reason. Yet the cat continues her spiel as if you did.
Human bodies aren't built to last, as you're quite clearly well aware. Over the course of time, we lose our youth, our beauty, our limbs, our sanity, and ultimately, we're doomed to lose our very lives. But machines, they don't suffer from the same issues. They can continue to operate on and on and on, and repairing them is way faster, cheaper, and easier. In theory, though, through adequate upgrades and maintenance, even a computer from 100 years ago could continue to be useful in 1,000. What if we could just transfer our consciousness to a computer ourselves? That is what synthetics are truly for.
Well, that escalated quickly. You can't help but chuckle as you try to process all the one that's shared of you so far. Right. Out of curiosity, how much alcohol do you drink on the way here? The cat evades your sudden jab with the finesse of a cheetah.
Huh? Interesting question. I'd say about half a cup worth of vodka, mixed with a little bit of lemon juice and garlic chips.
Yeah, that sounds about it. Garlic chips?
Hey, don't judge my tastes. I'll have you know I perfected my secret brew over many decades of experimentation.
Sounds like a lot of time for trial and error. Mostly error, given a description. Suddenly wish the two of you were just a little bit more spread out from each other. Either way, this is hardly relevant information right now. Yeah, well, as fun as this conversation's been so far, I kind of feel that, you're kind of insane. The fun kind, but insane nonetheless. For sure, if anyone could attempt a part like this, it'd be Pandora. Even so, you're pretty confident not even they could successfully pull this off. Allowing people to transfer their minds into a circuit board, escape death, live forever. Sounds like something straight out of science fiction. What was that?
What happened?
Oh, I guess there was like a freeze.
Was it? Okay. You scared me. I was like, oh, there's something strange.
No, because like the sound like started lagging, and then I saw that the screen had jumped forward. So yeah, probably just Discord lag.
It was probably just okay. I was like, you scared me from that. Like, did something happen? Okay, we're good. We're fine.
Before you can relay any about this serious-looking cat, however, she immediately shuts you down.
Take a look at our latest models.
What about a word? Mary hands you a tablet where she previously broke down your personal data and invites you to take a look.
Oh, the music change usually doesn't bode well.
There's an image plastered on the high-quality screen. of lizard-esque robot lay motionless in a complex tube-like contraption. It's definitely unlike any robot you've ever seen. Its shape, anatomy, the way the joints are seemingly connected to one another. It almost feels like there's an actual human in front of you. Mechanical parts and unorthodox design aside. It kind of looks like a giant lizard, or maybe a wingless dragon with sinuous body, powerful-looking limbs, and long tail. What truly catches your attention, however, is its face, or rather its eyes, which are replaced with an LED-like visor that doesn't let you see beyond its cold, black exterior. At the very least, it doesn't seem like the doctor's lying about the android's existence. Without even thinking about it, you make a swiping motion at the screen with your finger, revealing another image right after it. It's not much, just an image of a prototype taken from a different angle. However, it's enough to perk your interest even further. You keep flicking your fingers on the screen, moving from image to image at ludicrous speed. My internet's dying.
Oh no, is it?
My internet is dying. Give me a...
Okay.
Oh yeah, because like, I'm sure that you're getting this like super late. Okay. Should be back now? Sorry. There are dozens, no, hundreds of them. There are different models. Some even look more mammalian than reptilian. And some of the photos have been taken in completely different environments than the first. The more you see, the more certain you become. These images weren't fake. This is some elaborate prank, and Mary over there isn't lying to you. As ridiculous and nonsensical as it seems, synthetics do exist. You put down the tablet for a moment and turn to face Mary, whose large smile betrays her pride and confidence in her work. You wonder how long she's been looking at it like that while you peruse the tablet. After a few seconds spent reorganizing your thoughts, you finally manage to ask the million-dollar question. Do they actually work? He chuckles at your query, having likely expect you to ask at some point or another.
A few more slides.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, oh, you were about to. Oh no, you're about to take
Sorry.
over.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Bonk.
A few more slides.
Bonk on me, you know, like no.
Yes, I know bonking you, because I was like, wait a minute. I was like, we had this debate earlier before this video.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ah!
A few more slides to the right, if you will.
And my internet's still like weird, so.
Do you want to stop and call this a video?
Let's end this section, and then like after this explanation is over, we can end this,
okay,
so that we don't miss anything.
Okay. Hold on, when you get the chance, you got to repeat that. I didn't hear anything.
You do as the woman instructed you, and oh dear. Okay. You do as the woman instructed, and what awaits you makes your heart skip a beat.
There you go.
A video of one of those machines, walking around its hind legs, ordering coffee from a vending machine, seemingly without a care in the world. It cheerfully drinks the hot beverage alongside what seems to be a researcher, conversing amicably with them, just like a human would.
Hello? Uh-oh, Sedge, did we lose you?
What a strange... Oh dear.
I hear
What a strange name. What a strange voice it has. It's a little different from a human's, but you can't tell how. Regardless, somehow it still feels human. The way it speaks, its tone, its emotion. This isn't just another guy. Oh dear, yeah, I'm lagging the fuck out.
You want to stop?
Let's end this for
Yeah.
now, and after
That's
some troubleshooting, yeah, like I wanted to finish this like at the end of his explanation, but this is getting very fucky for me.
No, that's fine.
So sorry, we're gonna have to end this early.
That's alright, guys. We're sorry. We're gonna end this a little early, but hopefully I've piqued your interest. I'm interested. I definitely will be coming back to this. But we'll have to do some troubleshooting, see what's happening. But thank you so much, Sedge, for stopping by this video. Definitely to people, the viewers out there watching this, I would highly recommend downloading this for yourself, and maybe even sliding a few dollars on Sedge's Patreon.
Don't worry about that. Just leave comments if you like the story. We have a Discord server. We love interacting with the community, as a whole. We like the fact that there's people who are interested in our work, in spite of the fact that it's so different compared to most stuff the ends you see right now. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again in the next episode. Sorry about all the troubles today.
Oh, it's fine. Technical issues happen. The world definitely is not like No More Future, where everything is super highly advanced. So, but thank you so much, Sedge, for stopping by. And once again, like I said to you viewers out there, thank you for watching this. I would like to also reiterate, if you enjoy watching these kind of videos and you want to help continue to support this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as to make sure you hit that thumbs up button so you get notifications of when I upload videos. And with that being said, this has been Fallenwolf, and
Sedge.
So we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.